down. Yes. 3 down. You're in the lead. You wage war like a true titan. Zone C captured. Power play. Your enemy can't kill if they're dead. This is wonderful. Double down.
Hey, what's going on everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another new video. And here we go again, talking about interesting builds that can change your gameplay in the Crucible. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But when they do work, oh my god, it's just spicy when they work. I'm going to be starting off today with a weapon that's been getting really popular lately, especially with the whole sunsetting thing coming next season. And that is the Dire Promise. Today we're taking a look at the 2-tap Dire Promise. This is not a normal Dire Promise. Now we're going for the 2-taps with it. And you might be thinking, how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to make a 150 hand cannon actually be able to 2-tap? And the answer is buff stacking, like we all love. We're going to be stacking buffs on top of buffs to get 108 damage per headshot. Mostly 2 buffs, Front to Assault from bottom to Striker, and also Swashbuckler on the Dire Promise. So you do actually need to keep one of those Swashbuckler Dire Promises that you probably have been getting to actually make this happen. And the reason that we're doing these 2 buffs is because it's really easy to proc both of them at the same time. All we needed is a melee kill, which we're playing in Titan, so getting a melee kill shouldn't be that difficult, even though there is a lot of shocks and sidearms. But we're still a Titan. Come on, we're still a Titan. So once we get a melee kill, we proc Front to Assault with Swashbuckler times 5 on top of it, and that's how we get those sweet 108 damage headshots. And we also get that huge increase to stability, which is, you know, a nice little bonus. It's not really the main thing, but if you're playing on controller, it will definitely make sure that you hit those headshots. And those of you guys that have been here for a long time may remember that we did something similar to this a few seasons back with the spare rations. But now that there's a lot of things that have changed, new mods have been introduced, perks have been nerfed, perks have been buffed. Now we gotta do a couple of different things. But the main 2 components of the build are pretty much unchanged, because they still do the same thing that we want them to do, which is give us a huge damage boost where we can 2-tap people. Once we get those 2 perks active, for 5 seconds you're going to be able to 2-tap people, and if you do get a kill within those 5 seconds, you're going to extend it for a bit more. Both weapon kills and melee kills will extend it, but if you can get a melee kill, you should definitely go for a melee kill, because it's going to reset your Front to Assault, and it's also going to reset Swashbuckler. So melee kills are always preferred, but if people are far away from you and you can't really get close to them, then you know you can also take advantage of those sweet 2-taps. But just keep in mind that Front to Assault will run out after like 2 or 3 kills. So it's not something that's gonna last you for a long time, but while it's active, you are super dangerous. If you see anybody, you're gonna be able to use body them. Alright, so that's the main part of the build, but there's one more thing that I want to talk about that you can add to this build that's gonna make it feel a lot more complete. And that is the exotic helmet, the Skull Fort. And like I said, this helmet is just gonna make the build feel a lot more complete, and you're gonna be able to use the build a lot more often because of this helmet. Usually, how this build goes is that you get your melee charged up, you melee someone, you activate the 2 perks, and then you could 2-tap for about like 10 seconds or so, and then there's a cooldown period in between. But thanks to the Skull Fort, whenever you get melee kills, you automatically get your melee back. And then you can just keep activating that Front to Assault use over and over again without there being any cooldown in between. So if you want the ultimate version of the loadout, you definitely want to run the Skull Fort with it. It's just gonna make the loadout just a whole lot better. A lot more 2-taps, a lot more melees. And also there's one other benefit that you get with the Skull Fort, and that is that with every kill in your super, you're gonna get some health back. So you're basically gonna have the pre-nerf Striker like it used to be about a year ago? It sounds crazy that a year ago this thing was like this, where you just pop the super, start spamming your shoulder charge, and after every kill you get some health back. It is insane. You are unstoppable by getting some health back every kill. It is. I can't really believe it that this was an actual thing, but it was. But thanks to this Skull Fort, you can actually have that back, and it feels just like it used to before. Pretty damn unfair. And that's pretty much all you need. You have those 3 things, and then you can start two-tapping people in the Crucible and make them really question what the hell just happened. Now the biggest advice that I can give you when playing with this loadout is to not get yourself in some really bad situations with it. I know when you have this really buffed Dire Promise, you're probably thinking, I can take on anybody. And to an extent, you could. Just make sure that it's 1 or 2 people at a time, because if not, you're gonna have a pretty hard time. Also, this build doesn't really work too well in every map. In some maps it's a little bit better than others. It just depends how close you can get and how easily you can get the melee kills. If you're a veteran Titan and you know the way of the melee, then it's probably gonna be easy for you. But if you're a new Titan, then you definitely are gonna struggle a bit at first to get comfortable with the Titan range and you gain a lot of melee kills. Because when I play on Hunter, I usually don't melee people, so it was definitely quite a change, I guess you can say, from not meleeing to meleeing quite a lot. And the final thing that I want to tell you is that when you have your Swashbuckler active or your Frontal Assault active, you can pretty much shoot someone in the body, and if you have a knockout, just one-tap them with your melee. That's a lot of times what I did to kind of extend the range a bit if there was only like one person and they were a little bit too close. Instead of going for a 2-tap, you shot them in the body, hit them with a melee, reset the timer, and then, you know, just wait for somebody else to show up. You have a lot of chances to actually use the 2-tap. Be patient with it and don't just run to the enemy spawn, because that's just gonna frustrate you a little bit more. If you get a kill, run to the enemy spawn, and when you think you're gonna use it, you just get like team shot by like 4 guys. That's just gonna cause some frustration. So just take it easy. It is a fun and powerful build, but don't try to force it too much, because it is quite niche and quite situational. But anyways, with that, we're gonna end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you did, and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. If you guys have like some fun and weird builds that work every once in a while, but maybe don't work all the time, make sure to comment them in the comments below. I'm always interested in those types of builds. I always like trying them, even if they don't work too well. I'm definitely gonna be trying them if you post them below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.